everyone, Joey here, aka Animus, and there's a lot more of you guys now. First of all, I've just got to say thank you so much for all the support you've given me after my Figueroa review and Amon Tobin Amon, I think you say it, sharing my review. That was a pretty surreal experience to see the amount of attention I suddenly got after that. It really gives me a bit of a self-esteem boost and motivates me to keep doing these things for you guys. So I've decided to put in a bit of extra work and do some more videos in between my big ideas I've had. And I had the idea to do another reaction video, this time to an electronic classic that, despite being a die-hard electronic fan, I still have not got around to listening to somehow. Of course, I am talking about Cross by Justice. All the knowledge I have of Justice going into this is that I've heard their track DANCE, and I've heard that they're kind of the offspring or successors of Daft Punk. They're also a French band. This album came out in 2007, so like a decade after Daft Punk released their debut album. So I don't think I should delay any longer. Let's begin. I can see quite a lot of... There's a kind of religious aesthetic going on with the album cover. Also the track names, Genesis, So Let There Be Light, Waters of Nazareth. I'm really excited to hear what this thing is like. First track, Genesis, let's go. Wow, turn it up, oh my god. Wow. Being blasted with horns. This is so dramatic. It's like a film soundtrack. Wow. This thing is amazing. I can already tell. That chopping up is so... punches so hard. So already I can tell what people are saying with this Daft Punk inspiration, but also I can hear that they do... well, from what I've heard so far, it kind of does sound like they have a signature style as well. This chopping up and the punchy kicks and that, the slap bass I think I can hear in there, and this rough electronic fuzziness to it. That massive bass noise. It's so much fun. Definitely making me excited for the rest of the album. Let's keep going. Also, the attention to detail is amazing. I love those little pauses. Piano. Still same track here. I think I better turn it down because it's drowning out my voice. I just love it so much. It needs to be turned up, really. Okay, we transitioned. I didn't realise. Great that it's a continuous mix, though. So yeah, that was the end of Genesis. Looks like we're smoothly transitioning into Let There Be Light, and what an opener that was. I love this chopped up, sample-y feel to it, the way there are these little pauses just between stuff. It's like... It punches so hard. This production is amazing. The amount of detail they've put in. And also just how rough and gnarly everything feels. You know, I can barely just stay sitting down in this beanbag. I just want to be getting up and jamming. Again, so excited to see what the rest of this album has in store for us. Let there be light. Let's see what we get. Seems like there's a theme going on with these slightly jazzy chord progressions. It's a bit odd. Bassline, wow. They're really screwing around with this. Love those triplets there. I thought it had finished there. What does that bass line remind me of? Oh yeah. It sounds like the Tron Legacy soundtrack, even though Daft Punk made that after this album came out. Maybe they went on a sort of, it reversed and Justice inspired Daft Punk. Just as Daft Punk inspired Justice. This is going off the rails. Is this gonna be the outro? No. Oh, that was a train. I thought that was a riser. Yeah, I can definitely hear aerodynamic in there. The synth in the left here really sounds like aerodynamic. It's nice to have this moment of, what should we call it? Giving your ears a break after that insanity. Sounds like a cheesy movie ending. Okay, so I did also enjoy that track. Still very hard-hitting, and they really went, they really sound like they were enjoying themselves there, chopping up everything and screwing around with it. I wasn't a massive fan of the, how rough, well, I knew I used rough as a compliment for the other one. There was a certain synth sound that I think was a little bit overused. The one that in the left ear that went, I didn't, that might get on my nerves and repeat listens, but I'm still very much enjoying this album. It's getting me moving. Next track, DANCE, like I said, I've heard this, everyone knows this, let's just enjoy it. I hear it in the context of the album as well. Always love this sort of radio tuning section at the beginning. To the DANCE, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay to the BEAC, get ready to ignite. You were such a PYT, catching all the lights. Just easy as ABC, that's how we make it right. Oh, this is so much fun. How on earth do you make electronic music this funky? It's unreal. Again, the jazziness of the melodies and chords, this just puts such a smile on my face, I cannot help it.
What is wrong
lying, I'm getting goosebumps. This thing is so good. You probably can't see that, but not that common something gets me moving so much that I literally get goosebumps. So obviously that track is freaking awesome. I don't know if that kids choir was a sample. I think they just made it themselves. They must have got people to sing it. On some listens, like when I first heard it, I thought maybe it's a bit overused, but actually there are some nice instrumental breaks and stuff, and also it really drives the track forward, and having like a big sort of crowd of kids singing, it really helps that whole feeling of, call this cheesy if you will, but like the themes of everyone coming together, like despite all our differences and just living it up. It sounds cheesy, but it's I really love this whole message of this track, and the instrumental works perfectly with it. The way the string section is used is so fun as well. I love it so much. They really perfected the aesthetic of that cross. It's like it's like a sort of religion of hedonism. It's honestly done so well. I'm enjoying this album so much. Next track, New Jack. That rhymes. Feels like the beginning of a Future Funk or Plunderphonics track. Wow, those vocal snippets are fun. So rhythmic and tight. Sort of fine little chops. How long must it have taken to craft something like this? It's like weird electrical buzz. I really like that green sound. Okay, so I probably didn't show all that much of my reaction there because it was quite a short track and it didn't have all that much progression, but yeah, it was kept short and sweet, and what really astounded me there was, again, the attention to detail, the amount of time they must have spent crafting all those tiny little chops, so many rhythms going on at once. No, they never just looped something, it was all constantly go, and it gives it so much punch and groove, and it really makes you want to dance to it. I'm impressed, I'm really impressed. Also, I don't like having to keep pausing these to talk, because it's got such a tight, continuous mix, which is something I always enjoy, particularly in danceable, beat-heavy albums like this, because it all feels like a big DJ mix or a party that you're at. Next track, Phantom, or I guess Phantom Part 1, because there's a second part? I don't know. Let's just see what we get. Sounds like it's saying Phantom, but not quite. It's like, ow, ow. That is such a good snare sound as well. That one as well, like, something I always spend so long trying to do, to make a big impact snare. They definitely did it well. Yeah, that open hi-hat. I can't stop talking about the drums because of how good they are. Honestly, I'm really starting to stop thinking about Daft Punk here. I know it's probably just because they're a French electronic band, and there were a couple of Daft Punk inspired sounding things, but this really sounds like, you know, their own style. They've got a much more modern sounding, hard hitting production style, and definitely an identity of their own. I just think a couple of the tracks would have been loosely inspired by Discovery. How on earth does one make a bass sound that slappy. That bass sounds like I'm being electrocuted. In a good way. You almost made me spit out my coffee. Slap. Break it down. I always enjoy a slapped bass guitar wherever it is. Epical. Looks like we're transitioning into part 2 here. Maybe I won't pause it. I want to just keep the party going. Strings are back. Like on DANCE. I just think bass guitar players are the coolest dudes ever, and dudesses. Stop tricking me there. So that 2-part suite was definitely one of the strongest things I've heard on the album so far. I think you could see in my face just how hard-hitting they made that bass sound. It's actually... I'm kind of in awe. I was so perfectly mixed and altered so that it feels like you're being hit by a train. And I did enjoy the fact that it was more of an extended 2-part piece. If there's any tiny problem I had, it's that maybe the second half could have been a bit more melodically focused with the strings. It did feel a tiny bit meandering. I thought it could have been very satisfying to have more of a stronger melody to hold on to after that, after the insanity of the first half and all of those descending chromatic notes. But you know, that's a really tiny nitpick when I did very much enjoy that.